Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So you saw last week that I started the video talking to this big head about our relationship and all things. Just enjoy the rest of the video. That's it. Oh yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe and all that jazz. Enjoy. Anyway, so that was so that's, do you know what, Tariq? So that's Tariq. Okay, so we're just gonna fast forward a little bit. Then the next year rolls over and your dad makes the call to you and says he wants you to come and live in London. Now, how did you feel about that? So yes, you've been to London, you've gone back to Nigeria, you've probably gone and spoken to different people and said, oh, I've met my stepmom, I've met my brothers and all sorts. That's great. You've got a new family now. And I guess that probably helped you to have a better picture of what was going on in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so dad now comes and says, sometime later, I want you to come and live in the UK. How did you feel about that?
I remember the day he told me, like, there was talk about, because at the time he told me my cousins were moving to the States. And I was like, oh, can I go with them? Like, I don't want to stay here, I want to go somewhere else too. Like, I wanted to, because I'm a kid, I want to go somewhere too, like, And
yeah,
then,
you want to do what everyone else is doing. Yeah. Some things about Tariq hasn't changed. But anyway, it's another story for another day.
Yeah, and he called me now, and I remember we were in my mum's room on her bed, and she was like holding the phone like this.
Listening.
Well, yeah. We were talking, and he was like, oh yeah, I want you to move here with me, I want you to come stay with me. And I was like, oh wow, like yes, of course I want to, I don't mind. He was like, what do you mean you don't mind? Of course you want to come here. I was like, yeah, like, it's kind of cool. But then after we spoke, I was a bit like, oh, that's when you come to realize, like, oh, there's a lot of things I have to leave behind. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna have to meet new people, a whole new system. It was a bit scary, but fun at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was it. Tariq was told, Tariq was excited. Within probably about, not even more than 3 months or so, by the end of 2014, Tariq had arrived in the UK. Okay, so you're here in the UK, 2014. How did you now feel walking back into this house? You walked into the house in 2013 knowing you were here for holiday. And then walking back in 2014, we had created the room, made it more for him, his little den, little hut. When you walked into that room, how did you feel at that moment? Like, okay, next chapter starts.
I remember like the first thing when I walked into the room, like when I came in like for the summer in 2013, it was like an air bed. We had this black air bed that I stayed. But then when I came this time, it was an actual bed.
It was an actual bed.
I was like, raw. When I saw that,
this is permanent.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, bro, this is permanent. Like, I don't know what to do. And I think I sat there for like 5 minutes, just deep in like, and thinking like, this is gonna be a new stage. It was scary. Before I didn't have to like walk out to go and meet people if I didn't want to. Like, what's the point? I'm gonna be going back anyway.
Yeah.
But this time, you're gonna be here for life. You need to know people.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, and I think what he means about going out to meet people, I guess what he meant was when we were at family functions and seeing people. When he came in the summer, he probably thought, oh yeah, hello auntie, hello uncle. Yeah. I'm never gonna see you guys again, whatever. But 2014, I think, okay, these aunties and uncles, my brother and my sister, they're gonna be becoming permanent fixtures in my life. Grandma, granddad, as in my parents, they're gonna become permanent fixtures in my life. And all his dads and my friends and aunties and uncles, they're gonna become permanent fixtures. So that's a massive adaptation for him to take. And what, you were 14 when you came?
Yeah. So
that's a lot of an adjustment for him to now readjust and think, wow, I've gone from a very small family to this huge family, because he's taken on my family. So yeah, okay, so in speaking about my family, what did you think? So okay, you've got your stepmom, you know, for this video every now and then I'll use step because, you know, but you know I don't use step. So you've got your stepmom, but your stepmom comes with her own family. So how did you feel And how do you feel today? Because we can still bring it to the present today. So how do you feel adjusted into your step family? Because obviously I've got nieces and nephews, which he would have had to have built relationships with. My parents, which he would now have to call grandma and granddad because they're his mum's parents. So how did you feel, and how do you feel now being in the family?
So with Auntie Vanessa, like,
My
and her
sister.
children, it was easy to form a relationship with them, especially Asha, because we're about around the same age.
That's my niece.
So that was cool, like that was calm. Forming a relationship with them. But I remember we went to Cricklewood and
My parents' house.
I was scared. I was like, what, they don't like me, or like, because they're older, so like, it's like, they probably think a bit different to how you would think.
Yeah.
So I remember we went in the house now, I was quiet, and then I saw Grandad sitting on his chair, and Grandma was like beside him.
Sits in the same chair.
And I was just like, I was like, oh, hello, hello. I was like, hello. I was scared. I just sat there the whole time, and they started to talk, ask me questions. And Uncle Anthony as well spoke. He was more like fun, jokey, so it was calm.
That's my brother.
Yeah. So,
He's another big kid.
yeah, but it wasn't what I expected. Like, I thought they'd be a bit quiet, like, oh, he's a kid.
Or reserved from you. So you felt that from the onset, my family took you in.
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, as you know from the previous videos, my mum had no problem with it. So literally the minute they saw him, and it wasn't like I had staged it and called mum and dad and said, Mum, we're coming, please make sure you be nice to Tariq and all that. What I wanted for my family and for us was for everything to be natural. So I too, to an extent, stood back to watch. Bruv, I'm recording and you're actually yawning on my film.
I'm so sorry.
As in, like, seriously? I'm actually talking to you. This kid is yawning. Get back, it's okay. Sorry, we're gonna have to put this back on again. So if you hear the noise again, put on number 2. He's obviously hot. Now I've lost my train of thought. My mum. Okay, yeah. So I too, to an extent, stood back. I wanted to see how my family took Tariq. It wasn't going to be a deciding factor because Tariq was already decided and he was already with us, but it would have been interesting. And you know what? I truly, and I've never said this to my parents or to my immediate family before, and they'll see on the video, but I truly bless God for how my family took Tariq. When my mum talks about her grandchildren, I've got what have I got? I've got 4 nieces and 2 nephews. And then I've got my kids, which make 8 grandbabies. But when my mum is talking and when my mum is referring to anything, my mum always says she's got 9 grandchildren. And the 9th grandkid is this big head right here.
Technically I'm the first, but I think.
Can you hear that? Technically he's the first. When Asha watches this, Asha's gonna proper deal with you. Asha's the official first biological, but technically he's the first. Just everybody just took to him. And my granddad. So my granddad. You know, sometimes those people are a bit old school and you gotta be careful, you know, they're just a bit more traditional. So you gotta be careful how you pass this information on. And my granddad's quite traditional. But I think if I was nervous about anybody, and only because of traditional mentalities and all that jazz, it would have been my little old granddad. So when we did tell him, my granddad lapped it up. And like, from that day that we told him, he calls me Mama 3 Musketeers. And I absolutely love it. He, honestly, if I can find messages on my phone, he always refers to me as Mama 3 Musketeers. So for me, my family on this journey of me having this boy have helped me so much. Because you know what, let's be real. It could have gone a completely different way. Yeah. I've received him. I've loved him. I'm loving him. But my family are a bit more like, that's your own. How would it make him feel when we have family functions, when we have family gatherings? I'd be nervous to take him with me, and trust me, Tariq likes to go everywhere with me. So you don't have to force him. So long as there's food, jollof rice, plantain. Today we've cooked dodo gizzard. We barely did this video because he was serenading his dodo gizzard. But anyway, just take this kid where there's food and my boy is so fine. But no, just in short, I bless God that it didn't go the other way. I bless God that I didn't have to protect him from anybody because everybody received him. And I guess, and I'm assuming, if anybody outside our inner circle wanted to judge, because my family didn't judge and because people saw how my family behaved, they probably would have been like, oh, so they don't have a problem with it. Who are we to have a problem with it? And then naturally they just adapted. I will never know people's true thoughts because nobody will ever say, which is fine. But I'm very sure a lot of people out there would have watched how my mum engaged with him or my siblings engaged with him to determine how they engaged. Because obviously you've got an affiliation with my family. So you don't want to be going into somewhere laughing and jumping if your family's not. But as I said, and I say it again, I have an awesome family that took on this big head. That's us. That's our story. Do you have anything you want to say before I'm done, Tariq?
Maybe like to kids like me who have like step parents and stuff like that. I'd say to take it slow and don't force things, because like you said, it could have gone really different. Like there are times where I sat and thought to myself, maybe got a bit jealous, like, oh wow, this is nice. Like for me, that was the first time like I was like in a full family. Like there's a dad here, there's a mum here, there's brothers here, you know, whole family. It took me a while to understand how to like place myself or where my position was. So even to parents out there, I'd say be patient with the kids, because it made it like, oh, they're trying to be the black sheep of the family, but it's just a mental thing. Once they click and know how to position themselves within that family, everything will fall into place. Because with me, it took me a while to.
So you gotta actually, Tariq's right, because sometimes we'd be together and he'd just be there. He'd be very quiet, you know, very timid, very there. And maybe I might snap at him, come on Tariq, you know, do something or talk to us or whatever. And it's probably in those moments in his head he's thinking, okay, right, should I laugh? Should I engage? Or should I just sit back and watch? So yeah, Tariq's probably right. His thought process would have been a lot going on. And if we're typical Africans, all we do is snap and shout, come on. Not allowing our mind to think, actually, maybe this kid is just trying to process everything. It's a big adjustment. So yeah, that's actually quite good advice for children that are in a step family situation, that allow them to have their own thoughts or allow them to process it, but also allow them to have that open door of communication with the parents as well. If I didn't have that open door of communication, I know what my husband's like, and I know that he's a bit more straighter than I am. So I came in the more flippy floppy fun way. But coming in through the flippy floppy fun way, I was able to get a lot more out of Tariq, of his understanding, and then I would later pass that on to Tokes, and it helped us build better as a family. Yeah, I think so. Anything else, Tariq, you'd like to say? How about something about me? Do you know what I mean? How about give me some props here? Like, do you know what I mean? I sat here, attempted to give you props and you did this or whatever. How about you talk about how do you feel about me?
Well,
I'm not quite sure I should have asked you to say this, to be honest, but let's go.
Okay, no, I'll be serious. I think I'm lucky, you know, because it could have been really different. Like I could have come here and then could have fought all the time. And the thing is, like,
yeah, true.
Even if we did fight, I'd never win, if you get what I mean. Like,
never.
I couldn't win
Never.
because, like, it's your house.
That's right, right?
A happy wife makes a happy home.
No, but so, I think what we mean is when he says that he couldn't win. Well, to be honest, in a normal mum and son relationship and argument or discussion, it's not for the child to win. It's for the parent to give them the advice or explain the situation.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, me saying I couldn't win is like, let's say you were a different person now, with if you were a different kind of stepmom, like the jealous, angry type, it would have been like either win or lose situation. Okay. So it'd be like I could never win in the sense that if you were a different kind of stepmom, yes, I could never win anything. If I was that horrible stepmom, I could never see anything good that you did, anything good that you said, and to be honest, you're actually quite a hindrance to my family. Why did my husband bring you to our home? I was happy with my 2 sons. Okay, yeah, I get you, but as we said,
that thought and attitude was never there. So whenever we did have issues, it was genuine mother and son issues.
One thing I also watched a lot was like, let's say I got into trouble, how she would treat me like in comparison to my brothers. So a lot of the time I'd get in trouble, I'd be like, deep down in my head I'd be like, okay, let me see when they get in trouble. And they'd get in trouble and I'd like be kind of listening or watching. And the same way they got treated was exactly the same way I'd get treated. And that for me, yeah, when you get in trouble, you're like, oh damn, again, here we go again. But at that point in time, when I saw that there was no, I love you more, we're all equal, also made it better for me, and kind of made me fit in, feel like I fit in more, stuff like that. So yeah, like.
And I think that is so important. One of the comments that I had previously from the video was, if it was them that had met Tokes and Tokes had a child, they would have likely have not proceeded with the relationship, because one of the reasons I heard was they wouldn't be sure if Tokes would or would love their children that they would have brought up together more than the child that his child. Do you know what I'm saying? And basically what I'm trying to say is, I made that conscious decision from the beginning that if I'm taking him as my son, I am going to treat him like my son. And actually, me treating him like my son, I think actually helped Tokes and our relationship to see that, okay, there is no divide here. And even if, and there wasn't in our situation, but even if there was going to be an inkling of a difference of feelings that Tokes would have had for Tariq compared to Michael and Malachi, because of the love that I showed him, he would probably have thought, there's no point. So it is important that if you're taking on, or if you're joining families like that, it's got to be equal love. Equal love for my 2 boys and equal love, in fact for my 3 boys, it's got to be equal. And I didn't know that he would be sitting back and watching, but yeah, trust me, he got scolded the same way. In fact, even worse self, because he's older. So in certain situations, he would have known better, so he got scolded. But yeah, no, that's a fair point. And sitting back and watching how a stepmom treats hers against his other mom. Okay, is that all you want to say?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. The chat, the understanding, oh my God. Do it one more time. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hearing his side, yeah, we hope that it has blessed somebody. We hope that somebody has gained something from it. And that's us. So as always, stay you, stay awesome. How do I end it?
Bow.
Stay P31. That's how I end it.
Wait, is that, you actually wanted me to say that? I thought you wanted me to end it.
Oh, Tariq, just end. Just end.